number one, what happened was,
Yeah,
okay, number one, what happened was that Apple had had created some restrictions, and Facebook's ad business was impacted by that. Number
correct.
one. And then Facebook was spending a lot of money creating their metaverse project, which was not gone well, and they burned a lot of cash during those meta project. The products
I
or the
mean, it is
project
a
was,
long-term project, looks like. I mean, still they're into
yeah.
the meta
So
phase right now. I mean, beta version. And I mean, if I look at in that space, I think every company on that space is they're spending money.
yeah,
If we look at, I
so they
mean,
burned a lot of cash. So what happened
correct.
is that the pressure from investors starts coming, and they say you need to lean down, right? To sustain the growth, you have to show profitability.
Correct.
Okay, so there is always, all these companies are backed by investors and they put pressure on them. So continuously they cannot just increase. They have to show that, okay, the growth has not, and Google, Facebook, Apple, everybody falls in the same category.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That's true.
So the number one thing that if I am impacted by, if somebody is impacted by a layoff, that you have to understand that this is not your fault, right? This
Yeah,
is a bigger, it is a unplanned or a bad planned hiring by your company that you work for. So it is not, you could not have done, you're still good. That's why you've been hired by, these big tech companies. First, you have to understand that it is none of your fault. It is happening across the countries. And it's okay to feel bad, sad, and angry to a certain extent. That's okay. It's a natural feeling. Anybody will feel that, okay, what the heck happened? Why I am being impacted? My project was going smooth. I had been promised that I'll have a growth and everything else. Suddenly, all your plans, like you bought a house, or your kids' schooling, or medical, everything. So you need to plan those things as well.
correct.
And it's okay to feel that, but the moment you feel that you have been you are in the list of the layoff employees, you need to step back and then take a holistic picture of what has happened and what you can do next. Okay.
Yeah, I think what you said is very important. I mean, I could certainly relate with this things when I talk to the people here. They say, man, why me? In my
Yeah,
team, many more people. Why I was one of them.
yeah.
And I say, man, look, I mean, there is no definite answer to it. Certainly, yes, on companies' payroll, they have got a performance metrics where they on which they go and evaluate. But
Yeah.
I think at certain situations like this, I mean, those things also they might not work for you.
Mhm. Yeah, this is very obvious that why me. I mean, I have good technical skills. I performed well, right? There was no reason, I had never thought of that I would be laid off. Performance is the criteria, then I'm doing good. Okay. I have the good skills to upgrade myself. I have learned the right technology, doing good. So the obvious question is that why I'm impacted when I'm, so it is, so you have to take the holistic scene. And that's why I was trying to explain how the economy, the technology companies, or bad hiring plan, unplanned hiring is impacting you. So you are just a cog in a wheel. Okay. So you step back, and the immediate reaction is that freaking why me? You feel sad, angry, which is absolutely normal, and that's fine. But once you take cognizance of the situation, step back and think, what could you do next? I think that's where you invest your time after you see that you are one of the employees being impacted by the layoffs.
Okay,
Okay.
now when I look at this situation, now the other thing which comes in, like let's say I have gone through one of those situations, I pause for a moment and think about now what should I do? Now
Hmm.
then, a couple of things might run on my mind. As I said, number one, maybe I should change my domain from A to B, maybe from technology to something else, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? One could do, and other thing could be maybe I wasn't really more capable enough. Look, at the end of the day, frankly speaking, if I look at the situation one more time very critically, right? Assuming in a team of 10 people,
Hmm.
two people were retained and rest eight were being sent off.
Yeah.
So now those 2 and 8 ratio, when like those people who are survived in the company, what was that those two guys were having extra that they were being lucky.
Yeah. So
One way
no,
to look at this.
yeah, it is a good, it's a good question, right? Why not, if I have in a team of 10 people, if 8 have been laid off, why the 2 was retained, and why I'm being laid off, right? So good question that. And it could be that, were they really performing well? Possibly yes, there could be yes. Do they have the skills that I didn't have, and they that help them to stay there? So I'll give you a hypothetical situation. You're building a product, or we are building an application. That's a critical application on for the company, and the company thought maybe they were more tenured than you were. They had the back end and the front end experience that they thought this person I could retain. Maybe you're lacking the back end component of the skill that they had. It could be possible, but
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
could
Yes,
be
absolutely.
any combination. So yeah, it is always especially in the technology space, it is always smart thinking that what's going on in the market, right? Let's say you're working on a technology which is not being used, let's say C plus programming languages. You see that the market has moved on. There is more demand for technology programming languages like Java, Python, more database technology. You can move along while working parallelly on the technology that you're good with. You can keep an eye on the market and then prepare yourself. There's
Fantastic.
huge demand for data engineers, data scientists, people in machine learning space, right? So you want to keep an eye on what's going on in the market. That's always, especially technology is moving very fast. You cannot sit on your laurels and say that, hey, I'm good at XYZ space, I want to stay there forever. That's not going to happen.
So I
If you
mean,
stay,
so yeah, so if I'm sorry to interrupt. So if I take your words in that case, so in that case, I could only I can take it out. The whole thing, what you say is, I have to keep on innovating myself and spending my time on learning, adding more skills to my skill category.
yes, yes. So technology is always moving, and it's moving very fast, right?
Mhm.
Programming languages. There are preference of languages over time. There was a language of preference, C++, Java. Now there is more demand for Python. They're all very similar. It's not somebody good at Java could easily pick up, Python, or there are more advanced technology in that space.
Mhm.
You want to see if there are more backend component that's missing in your profile. You can go and grab and learn few skills there. So
Correct.
keep on polishing, adding the skills which is there in the market, along with keeping your core competency.
Super, super. So now keeping this in the mind, now my other thing which comes to my mind is now I have acquired so many years of experience, assuming 10, 20
Mhm.
years of experience, and I've got good hands on various technologies,
Mhm.
right? Now the point comes in, how do I show them on a piece of paper,
Yeah,
right? So that's one of the most frequently asked question kind of thing which people say, can I make a 2-page resume, 10-page resume? Should I mention everything what I did, a bit to bit thing in a company? So what is your take into this industry? Because I know nowadays the hirings have become more quicker and more faster, AI driven to be more precise.
yeah,
Now we have
yeah,
got platforms which are able to scan the resume and they are able to give a scoring kind of thing. That resume fits well with the job description.
yeah,
So in that situation, how somebody who really is really having an old school of thought, let's assuming a guy like me having 20 years of experience, I would certainly make my resume keeping my older experience, older thoughts into the picture. Rather than when I look at the youngers, when they make the resume, it could be more colorful, bright, and
Mhm.
with maybe less of skill, less of info onto that part, and they might keep rest of the talk things for the talking purpose.
Yeah,
So that is all what we assume, right? But at the end of the day,
yeah.
you are in the industry, you are able to see millions of resumes every day, and then you know what works, what doesn't work, looking at the resume on the face. So
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
which you feel like you want to give an important insight which nobody talks about it.
So building a resume, so we will have to take why, the why component of resume. So let's take a step back and see how the resume travels, right? When you're making a resume, building a resume, the idea, the goal of your resume is to get a get an interview from the company, from the employer, right?
Exactly, the
That's the that's the
level one. That's it. That's it.
that's
Correct.
the only goal. And then you want to say, and once the interview is there, the person is able to speak to you, then you can explain more about. So first, you'll have to keep in mind, everybody should understand this very clearly, that the purpose of your resume is to get or strike a conversation with the customer, with the client, or the employer, right? That should be.
But I think before that, you should be lucky enough to get shortlisted.
Yeah, so how do you get shortlisted, right? Yeah, so that's, so once you submit your, so I'm tell you how so once you submit your resume to uh, companies, what happens is that it goes to their ATS, applicant tracking system, which is more scanned, okay, and by their automated system, okay, and most of the resumes are getting rejected without somebody even looking at your resume, which is a sad fact, but that's how it is,
Oh my God.
right?
So it
So
means
you'll
you
be
say the
surprised to know
ATS
that
itself, they
80%,
reject the resumes?
that's right. So the system, they have automation is there. They call it
Mhm.
sometimes the AI driven systems there. It is more auto. So what they do is that you submit your resume on a portal. It goes through. You
Mm.
see certain things like, number of years, or maybe certain keywords,
Mhm.
or and the resumes are getting rejected. Not even some humans taking a look at your resume.
Correct. Correct.
So that's why when you're creating a resume, it is important to see how the process flows. So quickly, I'll give you kind of how the process goes. There's a job, you see a job posting either on a job portal or a company website. You click there, you submit your resume with some notes. It
Mhm.
goes to the company has an automated system. They have created filters. Has it got healthcare experience? Yes, no. Has it got 12 plus years experience? Yes, no. Java
Mhm.
experience, let's say it's a technical job, uh, HR system configuration background, and based upon certain criteria, and they say yes, yes, yes 3 times, or no, and they reject or they take it to the next level, right? So
Okay.
let's say rejected, you get an automated note that, hey, thanks for submitting your resume. We do not find there's a good spot for you. Next time we'll reach you, which is an automated
Correct.
email, or you get that. If it is being processed further, there's a recruiter who looks at your resume, and the recruiter is also scanning the resume. They do not have the time to read every single line, right? So they're just scanning the resume. So, oh, he doesn't have that, whatever, XYZ. He doesn't have a background in bachelor's of engineering he's looking for. Or
Mhm.
maybe he's looking for a very specific background. It's a healthcare company. They are looking for somebody who has built healthcare product. Oh, he doesn't have enough. Or maybe we are looking for stronger. That person is getting rejected then and there.
All right.
So if that person is kind of getting further screened by the recruiter, now you'll get an email by the recruiter, and you'll set up a conversation, and the recruiter likes you and then goes to the hiring manager, and that's how process flows.
Correct.
So
Correct. Correct. Correct.
while building the resume, you'll have to understand that you are building the resume for a system which is inhuman. It is more of a computer system, a software program which is scanning your system resume.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
that's why it is important to see if you are applying for a ERP system job. It is well explained that you have implemented that ERP system. What sort of modules have you worked on? Okay, and it is well enough mentioned in the resume. Okay? That's a
Correct.
very thin line. You cannot overdo the keywords, but at the same time, you cannot miss out that. Let's say the job says SAP ERP system, and you hardly have mentioned about it, or you haven't explained enough that you have worked on the sales and distribution side of that SAP system. It should be there. Write a
Mhm.
concise, objective, or summary, and then where have you worked, and then details of the role.
Okay.
So the key
Now,
when you look at it, yeah,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Now,
No, no, no. You,
here comes a very question on your mind. When I talk about the ATS part, I could see there are two different kind of portals which I could see. One portal wherein they ask you to fill in a couple of different questions, as you said, like your experience in
yeah,
Java and your education qualification, and there are a lot many questions. And at the end, then they're expected to go to submit your attach your resume, which could be in a Word document or PDF.
yeah.
Right? There's another system like that. If I take an example of LinkedIn's job application, direct one, when you just go and click on the apply button, it will open a window wherein you put your email address, mobile number, and attach your resume.
Uh,
Again, it goes to the database itself, right? Where
yeah,
they Once it goes to the database, the ATS system, it is able to give a scoring kind of thing for every application, right? So now, when you say, if I'm making my resume, I have got certain data which is already written into the format, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's no question answer kind of thing wherein I can really exclusively mention the skill sets or the requirement what they have. In that
Mhm.
case, what if my content which is there in the resume is not readable, not understood by the system? It is automatically going to reject,
Yes.
right?
So in that's why it is when you see a job description, okay,
Mm.
it is always advisable to fine tune, right? Customize a little bit. You see certain job application which is talking about you are a product manager, okay, and that job is for a company building database products, okay, or some data related product, right?
Mhm.
And somewhere you have worked on those sort of products, right? You have some understanding of data component.
Mm.
uh, if you mention that, it will always bring or raise interest for your profile. If you use one resume and start submitting for every kind of role without looking at the finer details of the role, the chances are that you may get rejected. Even if you're a good fit for the role, you can do better job than the other applicants.
Oh, all right. So it means the
Yeah,
JD and the resume, they should be
yeah.
well.
You should align to certain extent, right?
uh,
Now it becomes too much of work. If you look at every job detail, you don't have to change the resume every time. Just tweak, you know, the component, or add certain part of the, as I said, somebody, it's a product company building data related product, and you have some experience, it's a back-end experience of building product in the similar, or you build a product which had a heavy data component into it. Do mention that.
So now
Okay.
I have got one bad question to ask you. So assuming in a company there is only one position for which the hiring is going to happen.
Okay.
In that case, the hiring manager goes and he puts the requirement on a various portals. People start submitting the application through the ATS system or whatever system they have
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
right? Now, in the reality, that hiring manager, how many resumes he looks into and initiates a conversation and puts into the final selection process on an average.
So the job portals, right? A lot of people, 90% of the applicants that apply on a job portal. I mean, this is the data we have. I speak to customers across technology domain, right? So they say 90% of the resumes that come through the portal are not good fit. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
90% of the resume just goes in just, you know, they are rejected automatically.
Good man.
And that's why when you're applying for through a job portal, or you know, you have to customize something. You know, let's say your resume, we spoke about customizing based upon the job requirement,
Correct.
and then writing a quick note that, hello, you know, XYZ, I see the position that you're building a you know, healthcare product. This role is for a product manager, which is in a healthcare domain. I have over, you know, 7 years experience building two products which were very healthcare centric space.
Mhm.
And I have worked, and let's say it's a startup space, so that and I have well enough good enough experience working in a small startup environment, and I can
Mhm.
bring this, and 2 3 lines here. Don't go too detailed or too long.
Mhm.
Spending 5 extra minutes before applying for any job, you'll realize it will make a huge difference. Just 5 extra minutes before you apply, just blindly, like, you know, click the button. It will make a huge difference.
All right. Now, again, when you said that 90% of resumes are going to be rejected by the ATS system, that's a bigger problem actually.
That's a huge problem. That's a kind of, you know, yeah, either so it is not on the system problem. A lot of people are applying without reading the job properly, right? Somebody just sees that uh you know, it's a product marketing manager's role, right? So people they say that we only looking for candidates coming from building product, right? So all marketing folks start applying for the role, right?
Correct, correct,
Without
true.
product marketing background are rejected. Now they're saying we
Mm,
want only people who have built healthcare products, right? And finance people or people who have done any sort of technology. So they are all going, so they're not reading it well, simply
correct,
applying.
correct.
Okay. So it's not completely the system's mistake. Even candidates are, not reading properly, and they are just clicking the button, which
So,
is which
so
is creating a huge pile of resumes with of no use for the
correct.
client.
So in that case, the real culprit is the system itself.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that is where I look at it the other way around. I remember, when I was into this layoff situation in year 2008, you remember that recession which came in?
Yeah.
I was also one of the victim in those times. I remember I had to struggle for around 4 or 5 months in getting a job. And I think I was doing the same thing. I get up in the morning at 9, open naukri.com, apply. And then wait, I will get a call. And believe me, no call.
Yeah.
And my rate was like LinkedIn, sorry, Naukri gives you around 50 application. You can go and apply on a daily basis. And
Hmm.
I think I've tried every quota out there and didn't work out. And then I realized, man, I think I'm doing wrong. I changed my strategy. Then I said, man, let me identify the company, read the JD, find a person into the company, go to LinkedIn, identify a guy. And I used to email my resume directly to that guy, whomsoever was
Hmm.
there responsible for hiring that position.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that exercise actually helped me out in cracking the stuff more quickly. And then I realized, and believe me, since that I never went ahead to either Naukri or any job portal for any job application.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's my
that's a
learning over the period
much
of
better
time.
approach. Yes. Yes. Because once what you're doing, what you're saying here is that what you realize blindly applying for the jobs were not giving you any results. So you started networking with people in the same space and say that, hey, let me connect with this gentleman or this person, and then see if I can build something and say that, hey, you have a job opening. I have worked here. I'm sending you one-on-one. And there's a higher chances out of 10 people, even four of them responds back to you. It's a better ratio,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely, yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
That
of
works.
course. That's better approach. Go on a LinkedIn, it is people are available, connect with them, so that I am a project manager looking for a job, worked with Google, got laid off. You see the news all over. I've worked, and I see there are 3, 4 positions in your company. Let me know what you need. Here is my resume. If you need, and send a quick note that this is why I'm applying. I see that these aligns well with your, and most likely, if the recruiter is looking for right people, and you are the one approaching directly, there is direct communication. So
Mhm.
instead of applying for 50 jobs, you are just reaching 10%, like 5 people. There are, even if 2 of them responds back, it's a highly better result
Absolutely.
driven approach.
Now, Prem, now I have got one more very beautiful question here to ask you. All right, 20 years of experience,
Yeah.
worked with almost like 10, 12 companies.
Yeah.
Right now, when I make my resume, as I said, it goes up to around 4 or 5 pages on an average.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And when you look at my resume from the day I started my job as an intern to the
Hmm.
job as a manager, I've got everything.
Hmm.
So do you think all those previous experience are really required to be added into the resume as on date? Or
So,
we have something to really, can we cut short something and make it more trimmed and make it more relevant as well?
so this is such a a relevant question, because I'll give you a live situation. What happened a couple of days ago? We were you're talking to a client.
Mhm.
They had a product marketing role. They wanted a candidate. I spoke to the candidate, very qualified, from a specific background, right? His resume was, I guess, 6 or 7 pages. Okay.
Wow.
The client felt it's too long. And of course, it's a too long resume based upon the trend, or what is accepted in the market. So and he has got around 22 years of experience. and he has not, he wants to show that the experience he has worked, and he wants to show everything that he has worked on.
Absolutely. As a candidate, certainly I will love to show everything, whatever I have done.
Right.
I
You
feel
feel like if I leave something that could be important, they want to see,
they are
right?
looking for,
Then
yeah,
how do you, yeah, how do you cut your experience and what to add, what not to add? Okay. So what we have to understand is again, people are scanning your resume, either the system or somebody who's looking at you. They're not sitting and reading every line of your resume. The moment they see there's 7 pages, it's overwhelming, right? And there's a and it goes kind of, you are in the back burner. So let's keep in mind, if to keep the resume 2 pages, right? Now, what do you want to remove and what do you want to keep? Somebody like you who have worked as an intern and then several jobs, now you are in the marketing domain, right? You started 20 years ago and then a couple of intern jobs. Just remove that. That's not even, nobody's kind of, that's not bringing an impact to the current positions, right? Okay. Try to truncate the roles to the key performers, key performing metrics, right? The deliverables. Rather than writing that I was working on XYZ and then, collaborating with the team. What are the 3-4 impactful things that you have done there? Okay. Which is relevant to this job, right? And remove everything else. So as a marketing consultant, you help company to grow the demand by 20%, which turn to help them hit the bottom line, the revenue by like XYZ percentage, right? So that's more numbers. So anybody looking at your resume is, okay, he helped to increase the revenue by 1%, 2%, 3% by integrating the social media marketing approach. Okay. Rather than you writing that I worked on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn and generated and this, that, it's a better version than writing all this.
Absolutely great. So you mean to say that probably we can really focus more onto the achievement part to be displayed onto the particular job set rather than giving the
Responsibilities, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So now when I look at this fits very well for roles where like a support, sales, marketing, or PR kind of thing. But how the technology guys, they cannot quantify something, right?
No,
So
technology could be more precise, by the way. Technology is easier to have. I'm a Java programmer building application for XYZ, some sort of portal, travel portal. Okay. Now you don't have to write what kind of, first you integrate what technology have you been using, front end Java. There are the UI technologies, what backend components have you used? If you're building a product, how you help to move the product. So as a Java programmer, this product is basically a HR product, helping customer with the benefits or whatever. So now you are concisely in 4 to 5 bullet points, right? You are mentioning that this is what you have done. And then in the environment section, they create certain that these are the technologies that were involved, right? The cloud technologies, AWS, Azure, and then it has to be very concise.
good.
If
So
you
what
start
about
elaborating,
so as a manager, if they are doing some project management work, so probably they're more of the achievement should be related to the people's management, other stuff, what they would be doing in that case, probably.
yes,
If I'm a hardcore technology guy, probably I can talk about the technology environment, stacks, whatever I have taken
yes,
care of. That
yes,
part.
yes. You want to talk about the stacks that you worked on, because that should reflect, the front end, components. Okay, what APIs, backend programming languages. What was your contribution to the product? That's the key that everybody would like to see.
Correct.
If you're being hired to build a product or add certain features in a product, what have you done to enhance the product? Okay, and then the technology that you used on.
All right, super, great one, love it, buddy, love it. Now, so our resume is done, job application process is done. Now comes, where do I go and find the job?
Yeah, so
So now,
job.
Yeah. So no,
Go
one
ahead.
thing, let me ask you. I mean, I've got one more couple of things on my mind is, I've heard that uh, the jobs which are available in the market, they are available in the three phases in the market. Number
Yeah.
one, the first thing first, if there is any requirement in the organization, is being circulated within the organization, and wherein the referrals are being asked from people.
Mm.
If they do not find the candidate within the organization, a suitable candidate through reference or something, then it goes to the job market. They wait for about months or whatever time slot they've got. If they do not find a right candidate, they were still, then it goes to the consultant like you who help the companies to find the. Is that the correct one, or you see there is something else into the system?
No, this is so every company tries to hire by themselves.
Okay.
Internal reference is a big component. Okay.
Hmm.
A company of 200 people will like to say that, hey, we are hiring a, let's say, product marketing manager. There are two roles open. The HR has a process that, okay, let's send an email that if anyone knows, we will try to. Uh, Internally, they do like to hire through internal reference, right?
Hmm.
They do. That's in, and that's a good practice, by the way. If people bring their references, which are good fit for the environment, but still there's a huge demand, because what the company is looking for is very specific. So
Hmm.
very unlikely that the chances are still thin that they would be able to hire people through internal, the one, two out of, the whole year. Uh, but mostly they have to go out if the needs are very specific. If
Hmm.
it's like, more vanilla or more like easily available, that's again skills, and then what kind of roles are there, right? If they're looking for junior level marketing people, it's easily available through references. Higher level director of product marketing, director of product management, VP product marketing. Now, for they're very, very specific, they have to go out. Okay. Posting the jobs mostly have not been very successful, them also.
Hmm.
This is data which says that, posting a job could bring certain kind of jobs, right? But there are certain category, higher level, more strategic jobs, they need to go outside to seek help.
Correct. Correct.
Uh, so it's a good idea if you to apply, looking at LinkedIn is a good source to go for. Okay. But again, just blindly applying is not a good approach. See if you can reach out to the recruiter within that organization.
Hmm.
There are specialized consulting staffing firms who have better reach to those customers. You can reach out to them, okay, and see if they have needs based, which aligns to your profile, meets your profile. Network with existing people in your uh, space. You're connected to, you're working with Google. You have, people working with Amazon or other technology companies, right? So they may know some openings that you're not aware of, or which may not have been posted.
Correct.
Do not
Correct.
hesitate to reach out people are pretty open. Most likely 80% of the response, you'll see that I would definitely like to help.
Correct.
Okay. It is you'll be surprised to see how people are open to help each other. So it's a good idea to reach out people in your network and say that, hey, look, I have been impacted by a layoff. I see you're connected to people with Amazon or the startup companies in Silicon Valley. Would you be able to help me see? And then see that, hey, this is the recruiter, I know him or her. And that's connection to connection to connection to connection. By fourth connection, you see you have the right person to talk to, which is, and if the recruiter or hiring manager director reaches you through those connections, why not?
Correct. 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 So
So
now,
so so reach out to people. That's a good
super,
idea.
super great. Thank you. Now, one more thing. I comes now to the salary part component, right? Now, we all know that economy is not doing good, and maybe the package people were getting earlier might not get same one. Maybe
Yeah,
they
yeah,
might
yeah.
get something lower than that. And I have seen certain people, they're like kind of very adamant, and they say that I have made my benchmark. I do not want to get anything less than that. And in that situation, what happens, they keep on ignoring certain opportunities which come to their way.
Hmm.
So what is your opinion onto that front, or how do you want to deal with the situation people are going through that part? What do you
Yeah.
want to suggest them?
So if you have to clearly define what's your goal right now. Okay. Salary is an important component because you deserve that number. That's what you have been paid with the previous company. Now, there has to be flexibility. I highly recommend that there has to be some flexibility. It doesn't mean that people should lowball you, but let's say you have been earning a salary of 170K, right? I would say look at the total package. Sometimes, the total package, like what the benefits are. Maybe you have been paying, good amount for your health benefits, and this company is covering 100% of your benefit, which is
Sure.
better than 170K. If you look at it, they're paying you 150K. There's a bonus component, right? Annual bonus component, they are paying 10%, 20%. Previous company was not paying you bonus, right? This company is paying you annual bonus of 10%, which again takes you over the number, right?
Correct.
Do not just look at the number and say that, hey, I don't want to apply for this role, or I don't want to have the conversation further because this is too low for me. Of
Correct.
course, you don't want to go for a 100K salary because it's way too low. Okay, you don't want to spend your time talking to your job, which doesn't have the financial motivation for you to join. Stay away from, or sometimes people try to lowball just because you have been laid off. That's a bad approach
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
bad
yeah, absolutely.
practice. Stay away from those kind of people, those kind of roles. That's not the right approach. Just because you have been laid off doesn't mean that you are lesser than what you are. You are as good as you have been, right? Yeah, but some amount of flexibility will help you open up and then explore 5 to 10 roles and then choose the best out of it. That's
No,
what I
that
think.
no, that is where I'm just thinking about, like, when we do not have that much of opportunities available, because like me, there are millions of more people are already jobless.
That is correct.
Jobs are scarce. So
Yeah,
in that case, when I do not have opportunity to go pick and choose, so it's like, what comes first? Let me get it.
yeah.
And when you're into that mode of job hunt, probably then if you are going to consider the salary or couple of more factors as an important deterrent to, or to reject or something, it might backfire, because you never know
Listen,
what is the next thing we are going to get and when you are going
that's
to
right.
get.
It's a competitive process, right? It's a fact that for one role there are 10 people applying, and you have to best among all the rest. That's how it works. And the company is obviously going to look at your competency, and then cultural fit, the other criteria they have. And then if you start weeding out just because of the number you have in your head, it is too early. Explore them. Maybe you find that this is a growth potential that you had not seen. So until you get into conversation, it's too early to weed out a role just because it's 10, 20K lesser than what you have been earning. Total
Absolutely.
picture, total package will make a lot of difference.
Fantastic, fantastic, great one, super, 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 fantastic. I love it, buddy. Super. All right. So I think we are almost at the end of the time. It's 10:45 going to be. So any
Okay.
final thing we want to tell to the people, those who are already going to this phase, in terms of what preparation they should do? I know you have already given a lot of input to us, but anything else which you feel like, you want to give them as a message that they can really make them ready?
So
And
the number one point that we started with, right? Uh, that you have emotionally, it takes a toll on anyone being impacted, which is absolutely normal. Don't be ashamed of it. Is your fault. Uh, it is easy to say. It's very hard when it comes to deal with that. Feeling sad, feeling angry, and this is very normal. It's none of your fault. This is the economy. This is the wrong practice, hiring practice by your employer. A lot of components beyond your control, right? So after initial emotional, reactions, step back and then go into your goal, right? Talk out to people, the mentors previously, the managers you worked with, right? They would be able to help you. Ask for guidance that, hey, what's going on in the market? I've been working on these technologies. Is it a good idea to learn these, or still it's a very good? What companies are hiring? What domain is hiring? Let's say the manufacturing companies, right? Technology people are needed all across, be it healthcare companies, manufacturing, everybody needs technology people. Even if there's, we said that every company is a technology company, half of the company is technology driven. Supply chain manufacturing companies are hiring, right?
Correct.
Go with that mode, reach out to, mentors, manager that we worked with, and go with a healthy approach that, okay, my goal is to get 3-4 interviews, and out of 3-4 interviews, I'll do this. Okay.
Mhm.
uh, and any suggestions, any advices you can take from people, and stay away from negative. There's a lot of negative talks, right? Stay away from people who have no idea, but they talk a lot about what's going on. The market is going to tank, the market is doomed, the technology world is. That's not the reality. Keep the facts, and there is a lot of fictional stories. They're just bullshit stories. No need to get into that. It will suck your energy away. So stay away from negative people, negative information, and stay focused.
Fantastic one, buddy. Great. All right, it's great, buddy. It was nice talking to you, and I really love your talks, your ideas, and great, man. Thank you very much.
Great to see you, man. It's been a while, so it was great talking to you. Of course, it is much more than, so our friendship. So cool. Good to catch up.
So, right, sure. Chalo, take care.
Chalo, take
We'll
care.
connect
I'll
soon.
connect soon. Okay? Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Yeah.